With this workflow, you can take a video transcript and use AI to find the single best short clip from that video that you possibly can, output it so that you can have additional content on your channels. All right, and let's take a real quick look. I know it makes one short. I get it. I understand some of you are like, well, why doesn't it make like 15 or 17? You can add in that ability if you want. For me, I make all these bots for myself and then I give them out. And so for me, I only want one clip per video that I make. I've done the whole make 8, 9 different clips of videos and post them. And I have found that one short per video is a good number. So that's what I do. And so what I do is I upload a transcript of one of my videos, and you just go to YouTube, open up the transcripts, copy it, put it in a Google Doc, and then you put it into I'll show you how it works, but you just put it into a Google Doc and put it where it needs to be. And then it's going to add it. So here's the one we just added. And so we'll see that I've got, what it does here is it's going to give me the quote that I need to include. And it's going to show me the citation of where in my transcript that quote is. And then it gives me a break notifier. Here's we're having a break. Here's the next quote. And then here's my next citation so I can find it. And here's my break. And then, so it would go, if you have to read a 20, 30, or 50 page business plan or marketing document, my eyes are going to glaze over. This workflow allows you to get a nice quick summary of those PDF documents so you can have something actionable to work off of right away. You upload the PDF and it pulls out key takeaways, gaps and limitations, follow-up questions, and a summary of the main points, all formatted into an easy to read document. You get what matters in minutes, not hours. And like you'll see, it pulled from different parts of my video. So 30, 50, or 352, 420, and then it pulled from 00 from the beginning, and then at 17 seconds as well. And so it pulled from different parts of my video, and it generated a short video, or a short transcript essentially, of the best parts of my video. It grabbed from different places in order to create a single idea that makes sense and sounds good all together. Now, it actually, what it does is it generates 5 different versions of that for me. So I get lots of business plans and marketing documents and read all of them. And reading all of them is overwhelming. And there's my citation. This workflow will summarize, blah, blah, blah. And there's that. It turns bulky PDF. So it gives me different versions of the kind of same idea of what my video is about. It's not necessarily making 5 different shorts. It's giving me 5 different options, more or less, for the same short. And the reason for it is, sometimes I'll be reading this and it'll be like, that quote doesn't quite sound right there. But this quote might. And so I'm able to pick and choose kind of the best quotes based on the transcript and what it was able to find and put them into a single short video that I can then post to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and everywhere else. As always, you can download this N8N workflow for free from my free school community, where we give away over 30 different business-focused workflows ranging from social media posting bots, executive assistants, lead and email scrapers, and more, with new free workflows coming out every week, along with tutorial videos, how-to guides, and a community of automation-focused business owners, all looking to collaborate and grow their businesses with AI-powered automations. You can also join our advanced community for weekly tech support calls, marketing and business growth discussions, as well as getting to pick my brain on N8N, AI automations, or business in general. All right, and so how does this thing actually work in practice? We've got a Google Drive trigger here, and so you'll want to have a Google Drive folder that you have. And if I refresh, this is going to disappear. So just watch this. It's gone. There it is. It's gone. That's because the process ran. The file was in the folder, and then I ran the process, and then this one will move it out, and it'll put it into a folder called Process YouTube Transcripts for Shorts. So you want to have a folder called that too. So again, you want a folder for your YouTube Shorts that you're going to put in your Google document transcripts of your YouTube video. And then when you run it, it's going to move that file into this Process YouTube Transcripts for Shorts folder. So if I open it, you'll see like I have a bunch of them in here, but it's in there somewhere. So what we're doing, we have a Google Drive trigger. And if you need to set up Google Drive and Google Sheets and all of that, and you haven't done it yet, I will have a link in the description below on how to set up Google Cloud Console, which will include Google Drive. And what we're doing is we're polling every minute, just meaning we're checking for something new every minute. And we're checking for changes involving a specific folder called YouTube Shorts, and we're looking for file created. So if I had this turned on, this is the version I'm going to be giving out, so it's not turned on, but my version is turned on. And you take your Google Doc, you just put it in that folder, and then within a minute it'll process it and it'll be done and it'll be gone. And so you can either do it that way, or if you want to do it manually, you just put your files in and then you click the button over and over again. Either way, it's looking for a document in Google Drive. So what we're doing is, because we're looking for a document, make sure that you have Google Docs set up. Get your credentials for that set up. We're going to have resource. Operation is get. We're getting by ID. And in this case, we're pulling the ID from our Google Drive trigger here. So you come all the way down here, ID. So the ID of the document that it finds is going to be there. You just pull it in. It's going to pull the whole thing out. Now, I recommend you have to make this really work, you have to have a transcript that has a timestamp. So you can do this for free on YouTube. If you upload a video onto YouTube and then let it process for a little while, you can go to that video, open up the transcript for the video, and then you just copy the transcript, put it into a Google Doc, your way you go. You can also use a paid service like Otter, stuff like that. Like I have Otter for my other business purposes, but to do it for free, you can use YouTube. Otter's a little bit more, we'll say, specific on your timestamps, but YouTube works just fine, to be perfectly frank. So it's going to output the content of your Google Docs file. It's going to send it to this AI agent. The AI agent is going to get the name of the video as well as the transcript, and then it's going to run it through this system prompt here, which is a world-class video content editor AI tasked with producing a viral-worthy short from a full-length video transcript. Again, the goal is to make one short, not necessarily to get every possible short you might be able to get out of your video. And the reason is I've done that. I've been there. You know, I've been a content creator for like 6 years now. And if you just grab like whole segments, like 2 minutes of your video and call it a short or a reel or whatever, but if you can get like the best parts of your video and stitch them together to make just a banger clip, then that's what usually works better. So that's my opinion. You can always change this to how you want, but its goal is to output 5 different structural attempts, each using different arrangements or clip pairings to achieve the maximum impact of the short that we're generating. So it's not trying to create 5 different shorts. You can set it to do that if you want. You just have to change the system prompt. I have found that it doesn't quite do that so well, but it'll find you 5 sections that sound good, mostly. All right, your goal is to create 5 alternate attempts at the same short, different quotes, same message. You may reuse the same excerpts across versions if they enhance quality or impact. Focus entirely on finding the best possible arrangement and flow. And so I think this has been the best way to do this, honestly. And at least as all the various types of short generators I've tried to make, this one has worked the best. And it really does get me the best sounding clips and shorts and reels, or whatever you want to call them, TikTok videos, whatever, that I have found. It makes the best like minute-long videos. At the moment, it is set to do about 110 to 140 words, so about a minute in length. If you want it to be longer, you can make it longer by changing that setting. Anyway, content types, you'll want to change this for your own content types. This is my content types. I'm just including it in there so you understand. Please understand that. You want to make sure that your bot knows how to handle your content, not my content. All right, but it's here so you have a framework to be able to fill it in. All right, so I have it set for end-to-end workflow demos, giveaways, as well as tutorials. And so I tell it how to do each of them. Emphasize the transformation, show what it does, prioritize the moments. Go to ChatGPT if you need help in order to structure this bit here for your own purpose, all right? Please don't just make my content, make your content. Editing rules, you may remove ums, uhs, hesitations, and fillers. And that's really just for the purpose of how it puts it into the document. Unless you're actually gonna go in and clip out the ums and uhs, it doesn't note that it removes them. It's just there for presentation so you can read, oh yeah, that sounds really good. And so it will sound really good if you clip it the right way. Cut any non-essential lead-ins or tangents, trim lightly for clarity. You may reorder or combine entire contiguous clips as long as they match verbatim spoken segments in the transcript. Meaning, if I have one sentence that sounds really good on the back half to actually be kind of earlier in my video, then it'll do that. And then it'll say, okay, this other part might go later. It's allowed to do that in this, okay? What it's not allowed to do not paraphrase, rephrase, or invent text. Do not insert transitions or outside narration, meaning it's not allowed to just go, say this at the beginning of your clip if it's not there. I mean, if you want it to give you some suggestions on how to make it better, I mean, you can always change it how you want, but do not stitch together partial phrases that never occurred together in the original audio. All right, so it can't just add different parts of a sentence willy-nilly to try to create some Frankenstein sentence. That's not what it's trying to do. Short format requirements, I tell it 110 to 140 words. That's really how we get it to understand the length of the video. It doesn't understand time. You have to give it like characters, words, sentences, tokens, some idea of how long it actually has to be. It needs to contain about 5 to 7 full sentences. To be about that length, you'll want to adjust it if you change the length. Begin with a strong hook found within the document, obviously. End with a payoff or clear transformation. Stand alone. It needs to be understandable with no extra content. Meaning it can't just seem like this clip was taken just from the middle of a video and you're like, I'm not even sure what the video is about. It needs to be able to, boom, this is the content for this short only. It needs to feel natural and fluent, like uninterrupted speech. And it must provide those 5 distinct versions of the same short message using different segments, quote flows, or arrangements. We tell it how to output this information. Output a valid flattened JSON object containing exactly 5 shorts. Each short must be a single string value, no arrays or objects. It must be 110 to 140 words. Include at least 3 distinct clip segments separated by 2 pipes. So that's how we know there's a clip break. Include a timestamp pin immediately after each section or each segment. That way you know where the quote ends and where it's pulling it from your transcript. So if you have to go find it. Do not start a short with a sentence that lacks a timestamp, because I found that it was trying to create an introduction to the short that sounded better than what was found in the document. But that's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to make something that I can spend 5 minutes clipping really quick. Boom, short's good to go. Out the door it goes. Maintain a strong hook, insight, payoff arc. Formatting rule. So we tell it how to format. So complete first sentence, then the timestamp, pipes. Complete second sentence, timestamp, pipes. And that's just structured so that you have, at a glance, the ability to know how it's supposed to be broken up. Additional rules, each pipe indicates a clip break. Content before and after it must be usable as a standalone clip. Do not stitch partial sentences across segments. Each clip must reflect exact, contiguous transcript language with minimal trimming. We'll give it a chain of thought on how to actually do all this, so understand it all, locate where it is, remove any filler words, reuse highly effective sentences, build each variation, validate the word count, and then output it. So we give it that chain of thought that allows the AIs to work better. Word origin or enforcement. Every sentence in the short must originate exactly from the transcript. It took me so many variations of it to actually get this to do it, but this version will, at the very least, only output content that is found in your transcript. It will not generate anything extra, hopefully for you. It is permitted to cut fillers, but every remaining word must have been spoken. And then we have some what not to do's, no paraphrasing, no fewer than 5 variations, no skipping timestamps. It needs to include at least 2 of them. No including JSON formatting errors, nested arrays, or anything like that. No producing shorts that require outside context to feel like you understand it. Never create 5 different shorts. Again, if you want to change that, that's up to you. But I create 1 short, but 5 kind of variations of it, trying to find like the best way to hit that one message I want it to hit. Never use clips from the first 1 minute of text. I have found that it does not do this. Even though I tell it to, it still does it. And you don't necessarily need it. Maybe I'll remove that. I say that because I have almost all my videos have some sort of like ad right at the beginning, and I found it was pulling the ad because the ad sounded good. But whatever, we can delete that. We don't need that. Never invent bridge sentences or transition phrases. Every sentence must be verbatim from the transcript. minus defluences or filler. Never simulate natural flow by generating new connecting phrases. Again, don't hallucinate. Don't hallucinate. We say it over and over again. Never fabricate opening hooks or sentence starters. Every sentence must be traceable to a real timestamp segment of the transcript. If a sentence has no timestamp, it must not be included. Do not create catchy or smooth transitions. Use only original spoken words. And then we give it an example of its outputs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Just like that, where it gives me the sentence and then the timestamp and then the pipes and then the next sentence and then the timestamp and the pipes. Gives me 5 variations. It's then going to take those variations and it's going to upload it to a Google Sheets document. And I will give you this Google Sheets document. It's the YouTube video reference chart. Yours will be a little different. You won't have these first two, but it'll be the same one that I gave out in my YouTube cards video. So you can use this for both of these workflows. But set up your Google Sheets credentials. If you don't have that, it's in the description below. It's the same Google Cloud Console video. What we're doing is an operation of append, pulling from our YouTube video reference chart spreadsheet. The sheet itself is the shorts clips to pull sheet. And we send all those values. We're going to send the video name, shorts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I did build this out so that if you do want this to generate additional shorts for you, and you just change that system prompt a little bit, it will be able to output more different shorts, up to 10, as it's already built. All right, and so the spreadsheet itself is set up for it in case you want to do it. I made this versatile, so if you want to adjust it, you can. And then what we do is we finish it off by taking that file from Google Drive that we uploaded, my Google Doc with the transcript, do a resource file operation of move based on the file ID that we're pulling from our Google Drive trigger. So the same document that we got the transcript from, we're going to move it, and we're going to move it into that folder called Processed YouTube Transcripts for Shorts, just to get it out of our folder, our main folder here, so that only the documents that we need transcribed are here. Everything else gets moved into a processed folder. And that is how you can use this workflow to be able to create some really killer YouTube short scripts based on videos that you've already made. Now, if you found this video helpful, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like and share the video because it really does help. If you want to download today's workflow for yourself to be able to use it, just click the link in the description below to go to my free school community where you can sign up and download this JSON file so you can upload it to your N8N account, as well as you'll be able to find additional helpful N8N tutorials, additional workflows ranging from social media posting bots, lead scrapers, personal assistants, and everything in between, all available absolutely for free in the free school community. As always, I'm Bradford Carlton. Let's automate your success together.